Becky Lynch and Sol Ruca for the Intercontinental Championship. So Jessica Carr, of course, is the referee. And I think all eyes were on Sol Ruca for this match. This was kind of the buildup of the match was like, oh my God, how do they redeem themselves after last weekend? Ruca hit an Orihara moonsault very early. Ruca then gets knocked off balance on the ropes, and Becky is in control. Leg drop off the buckle, and they're trading uppercuts. And then Ruca stops her with a missile drop kick, and she goes off the center of the ring for a soul snatcher, but is caught with an armbar as Becky was plenty to the side here to catch her arm. But Ruca bridges into an STF and then escapes, tries for the disarmer, can't get it on Sol, and she hits an inverted DDT, and Sol kicks out. So at this point, Becky's getting very frustrated with Jessica Carr. Sol avoids the manhandle slam and hits an X Factor off of the top, and then Becky sends Jessica Carr into the rope, knocking Ruca off balance. Becky proceeds with a superplex and tries for a DDT follow-up, but it's blocked, and Ruca sends her to the floor, goes for a space-flying tiger drop that nearly misses Becky on the landing. There was very little connection here. Sends Becky in, and once again goes for the springboard buckshot lariat. And I am now making this edict that everyone not named Adam Page need to retire this. I think it's just time that we acknowledge that this move is not as easy as Hangman appears to make it look, even when he's doing it into a bar in Stadium Stampede. It never looks good, whether you're CM Punk or Sol Ruca. This is a tough move for these people to pull off. And Sol's a great athlete, and we need to eliminate this.
So we've seen Logan Paul, we've seen Charlotte Flair, I guess, do like a grounded version, and we've seen Sol Ruca do a springboard version of it. And at least in like those three cases, really with Punk as well, like the element of power is missing. The athleticism might be there in doing the flip or like whatever, but like Page does it with force. You know, the point of the slingshot is not to just do a cool flip. It's to create leverage through the flip, through the velocity of the flip. And it's not something that any of them have been able to nail down yet.
So then we have so the springboard buckshot is caught as Becky hits the manhandle slam, and Becky teases going into the corner for a soul snatcher, which I so wanted to see.
I would have loved to see that.
This would have been the spot of the year.
Give me the third match just so I can see the.
Could you imagine this? Like, I'm going to try it on the pay-per-view. But instead, she is caught, and Sol hits her with a manhandle slam. Sol counters a sunset flip, but rather than continuing to go for the cover, just abandons it and runs into a setup for a manhandle slam. She breaks the grip and then hits the soul snatcher and just wins in 14 minutes and 2 seconds. I found this end sequence to just be a little overthought. It just seemed to be like kind of all over the place, but you got the pop you wanted. And man, just given how much criticism has been about like the booking and some of the awful looking soul snatches that we have seen, I almost felt like they were backed into a corner that they had to do this finish because Sol Ruca losing this match, I just think this would have set her back all that much further of what has been a pretty rough call up for this woman. And this hopefully can erase the last month and get her back on track.
I imagine this was always the plan, you know, to have her lose like 2 prominent matches on Raw, despite like, you know, putting in great effort. But like it was to eat Liv first, and then it was to Io, and then losing.
This was her first win Becky on the main roster, folks.
Not including the DQ last week, of course.
Yes, yeah, but that a shining moment of her resume.
But like I would assume like in the scripting of these steps that they would have expected Sol Ruca to be like red hot heading to this particular evening, and unfortunately, largely due to last week and her not getting the victory on Becky Lynch, even in like a fluky way. Not to mention the botched soul snatcher. I mean, she did not feel red hot in this moment.
And they replayed it too on the pre-show. They bring her to the desk and they replayed it as is and get her to react to it. It was
How
wild.
did she react to it?
I mean, she reacted in character. Like, it just shows what Becky is willing to do of getting a referee involved. And I can play that game too. But it's like they just show it verbatim. I was like, this is not helping matters.
Yeah, but I mean, even the scripting of this, I feel like it certainly comes across more like a make good than somebody who feels hot enough to be a champion at this point. I thought the match was enjoyable overall, though maybe not perfectly smooth, you know. And it's maybe for me, it's part of the enjoyment is like the fact that like well, it was spectacular, but I also think like we're putting a microscope now on Sol Ruca now, following some of these botches, and I think she works a style that invites a lot of possibility for mistakes because it's such a tightrope walk with so much what she does. But overall, it was fine with that lone blemish, maybe being the Sasuke special falling a bit short. Otherwise, everything either looked at least passable or good. I still think these main roster nerves might be affecting her a little bit. But for sure, the only thing that needed to be 100% perfect was the Soul Snatcher at the end, and they did do it well. Like they almost kind of made it as foolproof as possible by not having Soul needing to like really run up to the ropes. Even like she was just kind of stationary, and it was just like this. Let's give you like the easiest position possible in order for you to hit this flip so that you can hit this thing, and they got it. They got the reaction. So I am concerned though about like this sort of title switch because again, Ruca does not feel hot enough as a character to carry the division. So I worry that she'll have a less than impressive run. It'll be deemed a failure, and she'll find herself kind of stuck in this position rather than advanced, you know, to another level with maybe something that feels a bit more organic. But we'll see.
I think she needs her Darby Allin run here.
You think it defends every single week? Multiple times a week?
Yeah. She needs to learn from Sabu, okay? And start, like, what does every wrestler bring up? It's like, you know, Sabu would always say when there was a botch, he meant to do the botches. So the fans were chanting, "You fucked up," and he was thinking ahead.
Homicidal,
that's what Soul's got to start just telling everyone, like, I meant to do that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, so she's going to have to earn favor with the crowd through the wrestling, through spectacular performances. So the microscope is still going to be on her.
What if she came out every week and held an open challenge?
I think that could be very possible. That's sort of
when we don't have an idea, it's an open challenge.
It is the Paul Levesque sort of mid-card babyface default, isn't it? But it's not bad for a Sol Ruca to have that gimmick, you know, as long as she can live up to it and display beautiful soul snatchers every single week, which she'll have to do.
Did she snatch it tonight?
Like it was, yeah, I would say so. Yeah, they put her in a position where I thought like it wasn't the most impressive soul snatcher that we've seen, and that was fine. She just needed to get it this time.
PostWrestlingCafe.com is your destination throughout the entire month of June. It begins with Open House Week, where all members on the free tier get a full week slate of extra content. Following that, we have Brandon Thurston live in Delaware to cover the WWE merger lawsuit, and we will be doing wall-to-wall coverage with daily audio shows. Plus, we have Rewind Away looking back at the career of Manami Toyota, a review of WrestleMania 33. Karen and Bruce will cover New Japan's Best of the Super Juniors final along with Dominion, and we will get together for a new Ask Away mailbag show. PostWrestlingCafe.com, the destination for you.